Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today on Not a Nail Tech, I'm going to be trying out some of these foils. They've got Hollywood icons on them. They're quite cute actually. I'm not big on this kind of old Hollywood kind of vibe, but I had an idea in my head and I thought, let's give it a go. So I'm just having a look through and kind of picking out some of the images that work well together because I'm going to do a full set of nails and just try and figure out a bit of a design for it. So I'm starting with Parchment and I'm using this as my base, so I'm just popping down a couple of layers of this on the bottom to make sure it's totally opaque, curing in between. So I'm just going in with that second layer of Parchment, like I say, just to make sure it's totally opaque. I want a really flat base for these nails. I'm going to pop that into cure in the lamp, and I'm just going to take our foil glue and just put a nice even layer of this on the nails. You really want to make sure it's nice and even because you don't want any of the foils to get any texture from doing it really bumpy and uneven underneath, but it's quite easy to work with. And if you pop it in the lamp for 30 seconds, that's about right for curing it. You don't want to over cure it because you might find that the foils don't stick very well to it. So for the first one, I'm just going to take a section from this kind of collage one, and this is just going to go like all over the nail. This is going to be for the thumb, and I just wanted to tie them all in together, so I thought if I do a collage one on the thumb, and then I'm going to give each other nail a character and they'll be a little bit different. So once you've cured that foil glue for 30 seconds, pop your foil on, and obviously you want to use it with the matte side down. So you want to see the design facing you because it's attached to the other side. You don't want the shiny bit stuck to the nail because that won't work. And you're just going to rub that all over, and you'll start to see that as the foil starts to adhere to that foil glue, it'll already start lifting off the nail already because it doesn't have anything to stick to anymore. So make sure if you've got any creases, which you will do when you're doing a full nail because it's curved, it's not flat, you're just going to push through those, and as you start lifting it off the nail, if there's any bits that haven't stuck down, just pop it back down and rub it again. It just means that you can get a really, really intricate design and not have to worry about painting it yourself because, I mean, I'm not going to sit and paint Marilyn Monroe. Well, at least not on this day I wasn't anyway. So once that's done, you can just go on to the next one. So I've done my whole set of nails with that Parchment as the base. So for the first nail, I'm going to show you how I'm doing the Marilyn Monroe one. So I'm going to use these little portraits kind of as a weird little French tip. You'll see what I mean in a second. So they're going to pop up from the bottom of the nail just like this. And again, just place that on and rub it down into place. Make sure you get rid of any of those creases. You don't want any creases like across the face because you might be able to see them a little bit. So make sure you just give it a really, really firm rub across the nail. And like I say, it'll start to lift off when it's ready to come off. And there we go, that's on there. You can see how detailed it is, and I thought on each one I'll pop their names on as well, and I'm going to do some patterns in the background I think at the end. So again, I'm just popping this on and rubbing it all across the nail just until it's stuck on. And there we go, as easy as that. Once that's done, I'm taking Jar of Hearts and I'm just going to be adding on a pattern on the background. So what I would recommend if you think you might mess up and you might need to rub anything off is to pop on a layer of top coat or matte coat or something like that in between doing your foil and doing some detail work. But I thought I'd just go in and risk it because seemed to be super confident that day, and I don't know why I did that, because that could have gone very wrong, but it worked anyway. So I'm just adding on some lips. So what I'm doing is taking a dotting tool and adding 2 dots at the top and 1 at the bottom, kind of like a love heart, and then just kind of pulling them out, and it makes a lip kind of design. It'll just look like there's been some little kisses all over the nail. So I'm just adding on a couple more of these before I pop it into cure, and then I'll be going on to the next nail. So for this one I'm using Serious Black for the background. So this is our Audrey Hepburn nail, and I'm just doing some polka dots because they're quite simple, quite classy, and I feel like that's more of an Audrey Hepburn vibe, don't you think? So I'm just going in and adding some polka dots on the background just to finish off the nail, because I thought it needed a little bit of something extra just with that image and the text. I decided to go back in on our Marilyn Monroe nail and just add in a few more sets of lips. I just thought it would finish it off a bit more. It just needed a little bit more balance, especially because the Audrey Hepburn nail was a lot busier as well. So just going in and doing that same technique again with the 3 dots and then pulling it out to the side. For the next nail we've got Elizabeth Taylor, and like I say, I haven't shown you the process of doing the foils on all of these nails because it'd be such a boring video doing the same process over and over and over again. So I thought I would just do those bits off camera and just show you what I'm doing for the background. So on this one I'm just doing some love hearts, so it's pretty similar to the technique for doing the lips and just adding 2 dots and then pulling it down. It's very, very similar and it works really easily, especially if you struggle with getting love hearts even, which sometimes I do, especially when they're this small. For the Greta Garbo nail, I'm just going to add some stars. So if you've seen my videos before, you'll have seen this a million times because this is my super simple, easy way of adding stars and it makes them look very twinkly and cute. So just add a dot, take a fine detail brush, pull it out to the top, the bottom and the sides. I tend to make the top and the bottom usually a little bit longer than the sides, but it totally depends what style you want. Today I've gone with shorter versions, and just do that on all of those little dots and it just makes them look like twinkly little stars. To finish the nails off, I've taken some gel top coat nail sealer just to seal all of that in because I want the foil to be well protected before curing that and going in with an ultra matte coat because I want them to be totally matte. I think it'll just really work with the design. You can keep them shiny if you like, not everyone wants a matte nail, but there we go, there's the full set. I think they've turned out really cute and a little bit fun as well, and not too tacky, because sometimes when you see things that are old Hollywood style, they're a little bit tacky. I think they've turned out cute. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think down below. Which is your favourite nail and which is your favourite Hollywood starlet? I think my favourite might be Audrey Hepburn. I love the little polka dots on there as well. Anyway, if you want any of the products that we've used today, you can head down to the comments and they'll be tagged in the video as well. And we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.